I'll ramble on a bit, don't worry.
Oh, you always do.
Yeah. Well, you got to fill them out.
You got to, yeah.
You got your clapperboards on the desk?
Well, I let you clapperboard.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, from behind camera. So move a bit, I was off stinging them.
Just go along with me on this one. Are we
Yeah, I got an introduction for this to get you into your story as well.
Oh, right, I do.
Yeah, it's very nice, this Egil.
Finery.
Indeed. The only problem is it's Norman.
I don't care who it belongs to. We always talk about finery. I mean,
Oh, we do, yes.
Yeah,
we like the finer things.
but not everybody has wealth. But absence of wealth doesn't mean you're stupid. Now, remember Mr Pengley who outwitted the devil?
Oh, yes.
Well, this is a case
Yes.
where Mr Pengley gets cheated as well.
Oh.
Mr Pengley was sitting outside smoking his pipe, minding his own business, when a ragged man came into view. "What do you want?" "Please, sir, I'll do some work for you if you pay me." "Well now," says Mr Pengley, I could think of some work for you to do." "Oh good, I love work," which made him suspicious for a start.
Indeed.
"See over yonder. I want you to dig that. And what you be charging me for it?" "Well, I'll give you 1 shilling and 2p." Now the going rate was 18 pence or 1 and 8p in the old money. But the tramp agreed. Fair enough, get going. And the tramp got a spade from the shed and started to dig. And Mr Pengley watched, fascinated. This man, he never stopped working, only to spit on his hands to get a bit of moisture in his hands. But he didn't do that very often. And he sat and he watched him dig, and he dug and he dug, and it was marvellous the way he dug. And when the sun started to go down, he said, "Okay, mate, thanks for that." He gave him some money. He says, "Look, you can sleep in the barn if you like." "Thank you, good sir." And early next morning, even before the light rose, the man was out there digging again. By gum, this man really works hard. "Well done." "Mr Pengley," he says, "trouble is I can't dig without any boot or shoes." And look, he showed him his soles of his shoes, and there was nothing there. There was a red mark across the ball of his foot.
Oh.
And he says, "Can't afford me no shoes." "Well, how much does a pair of shoes cost then?" said Mr Pengley, feeling rather smug. And he didn't want to lose this man because he thought, yeah, he's working cheaper and doing the work of 2 men.
He's got a pop of geezer, ain't he?
He says, 15 shillings. 15 shillings? Yeah, that's a lot of money. He says, "But no cobbler will trust me." "What do you mean?" "Oh, they don't trust me and I ain't got that kind of money anyway to put down on shoes." And Mr Pengley thought, "Okay, look, I'll tell you what. If I pay you 5 shillings, that's 2 crowns, 12.5p in new money, per coin. And you work for me for 5 days, you keep back 2p for money, for food, and if you're not too dainty, in a matter of 4 or 5 days you'll have the money." Done. Pengley went to his purse, took out 2 shiny new half-crowns, put them in his hand. The man clumped them and says, "Right, thanks, I'm off to Taunton like a long dog." "What?" And he ran out of the garden, never to see him again. So the man who cheated the devil was cheated by a tramp. So there you go, make sure you get your services before you pay for
I wonder
them.
if the tramp and the devil met in a future tale.
I wonder if it's the same person, maybe in disguise, you never know. But that would have totaled him 5 shillings plus his 1 and 2p is 6 shilling and 2p, which in modern money in Britain is, 6 shillings 31.5 pence.
Yeah. He's older than me, so he understands this about shillings and crowns.
Decimalisation came in 1972.
Yes.
And there was a big thing on telly. But do you remember the group The Scaffold?
No.
Paul McCartney's brother, Roger McGough, and some other guy whose name I've forgotten. I apologise.
I don't think they're watching.
Well, see, you never know.
You never know.
If we get an angry email, then we know we have. But, yeah, the old system dates from Saxon times.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. And we used to write, say you got pence.
Yes.
We used to have a D on the top, and that stood for denarius from the Roman coin, the denarii.
Yes.
And it was in remembrance of that. But 12 pennies made a shilling. And
Because they use pennies in America.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They call them pennies, don't
Yeah.
they?
Well, it's based on our currency, I think. But I don't. They're more decimalised, I think.
Well, certainly, yes.
But we had farthings. They'd stopped using those by the time I was around. Halfpennies, pennies, and then you went to threepence, sixpence, florin, which is 2 shilling, a half crown, 2 and 6, a crown, 5 shillings, although they'd gone out of fashion by the time I was around. Then you went on to paper money, 10 shillings.
Yes, you forgot sovereigns.
Oh, they come later. Then you get 10 shilling notes, which was 50p, pound notes, £5 notes, and I think they're tenors. But then the sovereign, which was a guinea. Now a guinea is £1, 1 shilling. And if you buy a racehorse, which I'm sure you're all going to do, you pay for it in guineas. And as I say, it's a gold coin. You also had half sovereigns, which was equivalent to 11 shilling. And now you've got quarter sovereigns, but don't think they're around as legal tender. So I bored you to death with all this currency. So yeah, I mean, you used to know if you've got a load of pennies in your pocket, you certainly knew about it because it's quite heavy.
Let's just talk about, before we finish this, about how in the old days currency was made out of gold and silver. And you could go and exchange your money for silver, but today's money is fundamentally fiat. It's worthless.
Well,
there's no money behind your money.
The last amount of silver, I think, was 1947, 48.
Yes, round about that.
And there was only a small amount of silver in it then. Silver pennies in the Viking times were silver. Silver standards in this country are 925. On the continent it's 800. In America I'm not sure, to be honest. I know my snuff box is American and it's stamped sterling, but I think it's 925. But grades of silver vary from continent to continent. In actual coinage, I think it was realised that the actual precious metal was worth more than the coins in scrap value, so they stopped doing it.
Well, of course so.
Henry VIII was well known for what was called debasing. He reduced the amount of silver, and his coins, where they were handled, his nose would go the copper colour.
Oh, right.
It was nicknamed Copper Nose, which is a double meaning. Yeah, he got a copper nose, but it's also an insult. So he was known as Old Copper Nose. Not to his face, because he'd have had your head chopped off. But he started realising that, you know, you've got better plaids for the silver than putting it into coinage. However, sovereigns are today still made. They're 22 carat gold.
Have you got any?
I used to, but no longer.
I've got one somewhere, I think.
Well, they are 22 carat gold. If you've got it,
keep it.
Yeah, see, the thing with gold prices, people forget. One day a sovereign could be worth 200 quid. Next day it's 150. Or the following day it could be 250. It varies quite considerably. But gold is always useful. The Crackaroony ones, of course, are the Krugerrands. But yeah, sovereigns.
Well, yes, that's the German equivalent of a sovereign, isn't it?
Well, it's an ounce of gold as opposed to...
I've seen them on David Dickinson's Real Deal.
I remember them coming out.
Cheap as chips. Because we met David Dickinson. I met him once.
All right, what's he like?
He was all right. I said hello to him. Oh. Yeah.
Well, if you're out there, David, say hi to us. We're always happy to meet you.
He doesn't seem to be, you know, spoilt by the television.
He's had an interesting life. People mock him, and they shouldn't.
I think some people watching this don't know who we're talking about.
David Dickinson is a top-of-the-range antique dealer.
It's very orange.
That's his natural colour.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's not a fake tan then?
No. He originates, I think, from Albania or somewhere like that. And people think it's funny to take the mickey out of him. Come on, that's racist, man.
Well, yeah, well, you know, I think when you hear David Dickinson, you just naturally think of his tan.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a stereotype everybody's got of him.
But regardless of that, I mean, he
entertaining.
He seems a very nice chap.
Yeah.
He occasionally puts his hand in his pocket to help people out. And
he's a snappy dresser.
Yeah, he's got style. And he's more to be admired than scorned in my view. But
I'm fairly certain there's some content on him on YouTube.
He's a nice guy. I never met him. I have met others.
Is he a Bobby Dazzler?
He's a wealthy Bobby Dazzler, I know that much. So
what's a Bobby Dazzler for those folks out there?
It's flash, sharp dresser.
And I just want to go back to coinage. Let's just end this now.
Okay.
On what is clipping and why were coins clipped?
Right. Well, coin clipping. As we said, coins were made in silver. And it was certain people would get coin tin snips and they would cut round the edge of the coin. Once you've got a whole load of these, you melt them down and make fake coin. It was death if you were caught doing it.
Of course so.
Now, if you go to Derby Museum, they have from the 12th century a whole load of clippings from silver coins.
Is that on show? I don't think it is.
You can ask for it, like most museums. If you ask to view it, they are there to let you have a look at them. I have seen them, but the clever and simple idea of stopping that happening was by Sir Isaac Newton. Now, if you look at, say, a coin today, most coins have got milling around the edges.
They do, yes.
And that was brought in by Sir Isaac Newton, so that if you start cutting it and there's no milled edge, you know you've got a duff coin.
So not only did he invent gravity, or didn't invent gravity, he found gravity, he also invented the modern coin.
Oh yeah, he was no dummy, this guy. He was very smart indeed.
In fact, we have a book in this house that used to belong to Sir Isaac Newton. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, I think it's time to go. This has been very long and a short story, but a longer chat. And always interesting. What random subjects we talked about today. And if you got this far in the video, you're awesome.
Woof.
Indeed.
But anyway, as I say, if you want to look on Reddit, you'll find us there.
Share it on Reddit. Yeah. We won't find us on Reddit until you share us on Reddit. So share our content on Reddit.
I will get the hang one day of this computer lark.
Yes, this is why I've not introduced all the other social media to Egil, because it'd be too confusing and too much. So goodbye. We are going, I promise you this.
Oh, don't forget, leave us a comment.
Oh, yes.
We will get back to you. Just take time.
Subscribe if you're new.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So anyway, we shall draw a line under this rambling, and until we meet again, bye.
Right, goodbye.